Revelation 2243. From the 24th of February 1942. Judgment Day. End of a time, epoch of the redemption. All mankind will be judged on the last day, and each one, whether good or evil, will receive his reward. And so there will be a separation of the good from the evil, the righteous from the unrighteous, the believer from the unbeliever, and God himself will sit in judgment and reward or punish each one according to merit. This judgment is inevitable and concludes a significant period of time, a time of grace, which was granted to the unredeemed on earth through God's great love. This time was a time of incessant struggle between the spiritual beings of light and darkness. It was a time of struggle between all beings striving to ascend, and during this time the beings had the opportunity to develop into beings of light if only they wanted to. Yet God also set a limit for the beingness by predetermining the period of time since eternity which was available to the beingness for redemption. And this time was truly so measured that it was fully sufficient for complete redemption, yet it was not used to the extent that it could be used, and countless possibilities remained unnoticed because the beingness did not use its free will or misused it and chained itself anew to the power from which it was supposed to liberate itself. The being will have to answer for this free will and its use on the day of judgment, and depending on its will it will turn to heaven or to hell, to light or to darkness. Its fate will be nothing other than what it has created for itself through its will. It will be spirit in all freedom, if it aspired to this on earth, or it will be banished again into solid matter, which it desired on earth with all its senses. The former is a state of bliss, the latter a state of torment and unimaginable suffering. Renewed captivity through endless times in most agonizing remorse and helplessness. But God is just. Because in his love he endeavored throughout eternity to lead this being to freedom. He had all means at his disposal. He acquired the blessings of the act of salvation for the beings through his human manifestation and his death on the cross. He was infinitely long-suffering and patient, yet he had to leave them one thing: free will. And according to this he must now also judge people when the day comes which ends this time of grace. For this free will has degenerated, it is only used to work for God's adversary, and thus it has to be bound again for an infinite time. The last judgment is the beginning and the end. A new era begins and the old one has ended. Earthly life has come to an end for all beings which were embodied on earth, partly in the works of creation, partly in the flesh. But a new creation arises which again holds the spiritual within itself, which has not yet finished its earthly path but was close to the last embodiments. For this spiritual being had not yet regained its free will and therefore cannot be held responsible on the day of judgment. However, the whole of humanity will have to answer to God on the last day and its sinfulness will be revealed, and only a small number of righteous people will be able to stand before God's eyes and enter the kingdom of peace. Amen.